Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you be viewing me, from anywhere in the world. My name is Augustine, and I'm also known as the Simple Consultant. So I'm here to give another broadcast, and for those of us who has been following up on my broadcasts, I want to say thank you. I do appreciate the fact that I do make broadcasts, and I have tried as much as possible to be consistent on my broadcast. And then you also has thought it needful to follow up on my broadcast. And I do sincerely want to say a big thank you. Now, for those of us who will be coming in for the very first time, and you're just seeing me for the first time, I would appreciate it if you can subscribe to my channel and also give me a thumbs up. Click on the like button and also click on the bell button so that in consequent videos, when I am live, you can be able to see me and you can also listen to my broadcast. All right, so over to the broadcast proper. I'm going to be as brief as I can, like as in previous times. I've always tried to keep up, but sometimes I get lost in my explanations. Now, before I came online, I was supposed to have a Facebook broadcast. I wasn't able to meet up for my Facebook broadcast because I had a number of activities that clashed. So one had to take preference over the other. And the Facebook broadcast had to go. Nonetheless, as soon as I'm through with this broadcast, I'll be going back to make a Facebook broadcast. And my Facebook broadcast would always be limited to 15 minutes, between 15, 20 minutes, so that I can pass on the information to those who want to pay attention to this new evolution. Because those who are in Facebook are not people that are in the TBC community. Now, in the YouTube, you people listening to me most likely are community members or intending community members. So I'm going to go a bit deeper when I'm addressing those in TBC in YouTube, you know. So that's by the way. Now let's go into the topic of today, how the admin will distribute coins using the concept of meritocracy. And this is a very kind of complicated topic. And a good number of people in the community are really, really skeptical and confused at this point. You and I already understand where we are in the TBC community. And I'm going to share my screen with each and every one of us. And I want to say good evening, Brother Daniel. Thank you for coming online. And I would appreciate it if you can stay with me through to the end. I promise not to keep us so long. Maximum 30 minutes, I'm off here. Now, back to what I was saying. A good number of people in the TBC community are really confused and afraid of what is happening. And fortunately, I'm in some groups. I am in so many groups. And just a few of those groups, I happen to be an administrator in the group. Now, so many of them are actually crying foul. So many of them are actually crying foul. Why are they crying foul? You see, the thing that so many people actually marvel me about is because the administration is anonymous. And a good number of people in the community are using their scarcity mindset to amass coins. And the admin of the community understands the human nature of greed. And this is the major reason why the administration decided to go underground so that nobody will know him. He is not seeing your face. When you go to the courts, you will see a statue. The statue has her eyes closed. And then by the right, you will find out she's holding a sword. And by the left, she's holding a weighing balance. Now, it's simple. It only tells you if you are found wanting after you have been weighed and tried by the law, and you are found wanting, the sword is there for justice. I can tell you most solemnly that that picture is a typical demonstration of what the administration is. Whether you choose to accept it or not, that is the simple truth. Now, the administration is trying to rebuild the way the world does things. which so many people are still trying to understand, and they do not like it. Now, when we started as a community, if you came into the TBC community much earlier, you would recall that some people were selling TBC coins as low as 50 cents. Some people were selling 5 to 10 TBC coins as low as 5 to $10. Some people were selling 100 TBC coins as low as 50, maybe 100 or $200. Some people were selling as much as 1,000 coins for as little as about $60 to $80. Yes. So many of us saw these things happen. And as at then, people were asking, could it be possible that this concept of discounting will be brought to an end? That was then. So many things went on in the community, and so many people wrongfully held TBC coins. Thank you very much, brother, for coming online. Now, so many people wrongfully held TBC coins. Why do I say wrongfully? Because when a purpose for a thing is not known, ultimately abuse is inevitable. And that is the truth. You and I bear witness that so many people who came into the TBC community very early, they used it as a means to make money. And after they made the money, and they found that TBC was still moving forward, and it delayed based on the promises that the administration had already made. And he did not fulfill those promises because he felt that this was not the right direction to go through. So many people has refused to repent and turn away from their own ways. They are holding on to the administration, saying that this was what the admin said, and the admin must fulfill what he has said. No, when you are moving towards a destination, you must not hold on tightly to what the administration has said. Administration has said we do not have a definite path. And this is the first time that a kind of our system has ever existed from human history. There has never been a community such as the Kringle Private Society that has come together to say we have decided to go against the reality. What is the reality? The reality is the norm. We have refused to continue with the system called scarcity, and we have chosen to follow the system called abundance. Of course, you should understand that an individual who sits down and conceives that does not have a clear roadmap as to how to approach such kind of thing. So mistakes are inevitable. Nonetheless, the administration learns from their mistakes and makes the necessary corrections. So as at now, admin started making the necessary corrections. And he started saying, and I've been saying it in my groups, that the administration is doing what you call Operation Clean and Green Initiative. Operation Clean and Green Initiative. Now, that's a name. Now, the name was coined out by myself. Now, I wouldn't want to tell you how the concept came into reality, but that aside, but the bottom line is the administration started doing house cleanup as far back as when he introduced the Bitcoin bounty. When he brought up the Bitcoin bounty, there were so many leaders that were there. You and I knew that these leaders, they were pushing and trying to make TBC community successful. But you see, the concept with which they were going about it was a concept that was giving them gain, and it was not ultimately benefiting the whole Kringle Private Society at large. This was the concept that so many of those leaders brought in. Admin understood very well that these people, if it continues, we are going to replicate the existing system. The kind of system we are trying to build is a system where everybody is free. Everybody is free. We have a life of freedom. That is the kind of system we are trying to build, not a system where you are answerable to some other kind of people. Even though our system is organized and properly structured, that doesn't mean that you must pass through A or you must pass through B to get a solution to whatsoever you want. The system is modeled in such a way that you would have a superior. Now, that superior is someone that you can choose to do without. It is not somebody that you must work with. Now, there could be several leaders in the TBC community. Some of them may be so intelligent, but you see, they are not indispensable. If they get to the point where they feel that they are so full of themselves, you can put the person aside and then move to some other leaders who is humble enough to help in growing the community with all the forms of love and respect that he or she can give. This is how our system was modeled. But you see, when the system began, admin introduced the Bitcoin bounty. It started moving, and at a point, resistance came up. You and I know that resistance came up. And those resistance were brought up by those leaders that were in the community. They fought the system, and the admin looked at it, and also he had to fight back. Why was admin fighting back? He was fighting back because he had a goal to protect. He had a mission to accomplish, and there must be resistance for anything that has a gainful or a purpose in life. Those resistance gathered, and they said they do not like Bitcoin bounty because it is a system that they call a form of networking. Yes, that's what majority say. And indeed, it kind of looks like a networking system. But the whole concept of Bitcoin bounty was designed so that the community can grow. Admin is saying we are in the distribution phase. And for the distribution phase to be achieved, then you have to go about distributing the coins using the concept called Bitcoin bounty. Now, to be able to throw more light on this information, I want to move quickly to share my screen and explain these things to us. I think when I share my screen, I'm going to be able to explain much more in details. So give me a short while. Let me share my screen. So for those of us who are watching me, I really do appreciate. Thank you very much for coming online. And I said previously, I was going to make sure in 30 minutes time, I'll dismiss everyone. I wouldn't want to take so much of our time. So please do stay with me. Let me share my screen. All right, I'm holding on. It looks like it's giving a little of delay to bring up my screen share. Okay, it has come on. So now let me quickly go to my Kringle Cash back office. And there are so many things I'm going to say in our broadcast that is going to be very, very necessary for each and every one of us to take home. For those of us who will be coming in at some point, it will be necessary we listen to every bit of information that I'll be passing across within this particular broadcast. Okay. All right. So I have logged in, and is the first thing we just do is go to where we want to go to, and then we do what we do and we leave. No, you are a person in the community growing a new financial system. The first thing that a leader and the upper echelon billionaires, who are the upper echelon billionaires? The upper echelon billionaires are people who are in the mass adoption team. So if you are in the mass adoption team, the first primary thing you should pay attention to is seeing how the admin is making the change. The changes in the TBC community are happening slow and steady, but it's unfortunate so many people are not observing it. Well, on this broadcast, I'll show us briefly, recall, I came to Gringo Cash to be able to explain how admin is going about proper distribution of his coins. And I said I was going to do that using Bitcoin bounty. But before I go to that place, I want to quickly show us some things which I'm certain a good number of us may not have listened or paid attention to. The first thing I want to show us is support, help desk. Now, in our help desk, maybe people are not taking time to study it, but I think I should show us. Now, this is what I want to show us, this particular instance. Now, admin is saying, Kringle Cash back office support and commissioner frequently asked questions. Now, this one is telling you, in a few days, the new support back office will be live. Now, what does it mean for the new support back office to be live? Those of us who has engaged in commissioner requests, and you have seen how commissioner requests goes about, it is now going to be a similar system that the support is also going to introduce, where you have an opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with the support. It is not an issue where you issue a support ticket and then after 24 hours you get a feedback. The system is upgrading. So those of you who are not conscious or aware yet, admin is building it to a point where you are going to be having instant response. You write a response to the support responds to you immediately. And within a short time, whatever question, whatever request that you have, it will be addressed ASAP. Now, this is one of the things I want us to pay attention to. Those of you who has not taken time to study every question in this place and answer, do well to pay attention to those things. Read it because you are a student. And as long as I'm concerned, I can liken the Kringle Private Society to be a PhD course or something like that. Now you are building to come out of the system of scarcity into a system of abundance. It majorly concerns the mindset. If your mindset is not properly designed to think from the perspective of abundance, well, the purpose of Kringle Society has not been achieved in your life. Now, the second thing I want us to pay good attention to now is tomorrow's broadcast. I do not know if so many people has taken attention or paid attention to it, but if you haven't, the system now is able to do broadcast. You can now schedule a broadcast here. At a point, it wasn't working, but at this point, it is now working. And it's unfortunate no one has been able to schedule broadcasts. So many people are doing broadcasts, but they are not scheduling broadcasts here. Now, it is necessary you schedule a broadcast. Why do you need to schedule a broadcast? It is simple. After you've done a broadcast, then you can go to Broadcasters Reward. When you go to Broadcasters Reward, you click on it. When you click on it, then you get a reward. Or you come to this place where they said submit broadcast for approval. Once you've done so, admin sees it and then he approves of it. As soon as he approves of it, you are getting a certain amount of Kringles in your Kringle reward. Now, when you come to this place, previously it was not your Kringle rewards, it was your cookie rewards. Now it has changed into your Kringle rewards. Now, when you click into Kringle rewards, it comes up. Now, when it comes up, you'll find out that some things has changed. Now, if you read into this information, Kringle rewards redemption limitations. It wasn't Kringle rewards before, it was cookie rewards. This is the only thing that will be changed. Please, community members, pay attention. From February 1st, anything that has to do with cookies is eliminated. From February 1st, anything that has to do with cookies is eliminated. It will now become Kringle rewards, no more cookie rewards. So please take note of that. Now, let me go into the initial thing I said I was going to talk about. In this particular place called English contest, let me quickly click into it. And while it's coming up, when you look into this place, this is what we call proper distribution. Now, you see Ivory Coast, you see Nigeria, Burundi, Papua New Guinea, Malaysia, India, Kenya. This is the first page. This is what the administration has in mind. When he was talking about distributing of coins, it should be done in such a way that these coins should be spread across every country of the world. Now, when we go into our send button meeting, let me quickly go into our send button meeting if it is still available. Okay, let me go to the next page. In our next page, yes, this is the send button meeting that was held on Monday. Now, in this particular send button meeting, what I want to show us is the spread of people who contested in the Bitcoin bounty contest. Now, look at Nigeria. It may look blurry for you, but on your own, you could go to the blog and check it out. You'll find out that 39 countries from all over the world took part in this Bitcoin bounty contest, and the majority of them are from Africa. However, there are countries from the first world countries such as the United States that took part, countries such as France took part, countries such as Germany took part, and by the day, this will continue to increase. Okay? So this is what the administration has in mind to help in distributing these coins evenly. Now, I've said enough on that. Let me return ultimately to my topic, how the administration will go about distributing coins using the concept called meritocracy. Now, the question I would ask you, admin has already said it. The question I will ask you is, are you sure you can be able to hold on to the Kringle Private Society until we get to maturity period? When is maturity period? Maturity period may not be when we've gotten to 1 billion. Maturity period is when we get to our economic phase. And I dare to tell you that the administration has designed it in such a way that until we get close to our economic phase, we are not going to enter into our new blockchain. The administration wants to make sure that it closes every forms of loopholes so that moving into the new blockchain, it will be a system that is introducing us into our economic phase. I do not know if it is going to be this year. I do not know if it is going to be next year. But from all due indications, I am certain that once we have gotten 111,111 active and consistent builders, then I don't think there will be any other thing that is holding us back. Why do I think so? The reasons is because the admin's concern is to raise enough funds to be able to build our blockchain. I don't think at this point we've built that blockchain, but we are so close to getting to that point. The administration is working on all the supports and sending them to the necessary trainings so that they can be well equipped to be able to sit down and engage upon that project. That is what the administration is doing. Now, for those of us who have chosen to opt in to become the 111,111, there are two things I want to show us quickly. And then after I show us that, I quickly read this article, which is Access Your Birthright, and then this blog. And then I think I'll call it close for today. It looks like time is already against me. All right. Now, the first one I want to look into is this one. Now, this one is our team A. This one is our team A. This particular blog explains team A and team B. Now, the administration says that team A will be made up of 111,111. Now, I'm going to use about 10 minutes to explain this. Now, 111,111 could be old members, could be new members. It could be anybody that has been dormant at previous times. It does not necessarily mean you are somebody that has been old in the community and then you want to become among the mass adoption team. Now, the concept called meritocracy means you are rewarded based on how much performance you have built or you have contributed into the Kringle Private Society. So these numbers are people that cut across every sector of the world. You could be black, you could be white, you could be red, whichever place you come from, you can take part in these numbers. And as long as you have decided to consistently pay the admin fee, as long as you have decided to consistently pay the admin fee. Now, I want you to understand that there are some people that hasn't found their purposes in life, but they found their purpose in this Kringle Private Society. Yours truly, talking to you, are one of the people who has found purpose in this Kringle Private Society. It doesn't look like we are making so much noise. It doesn't look like we are shaking the world now. But I've been able to watch and view into the future to see that in a very short while from now, less than 4 years from now, every become envious of the Kringle Private Society. Why do I think from that perspective? It is simple, because there is this adage that says, allow the truth and the truth will fight for itself. I am very sure you and I know very well that at some point in our build up as a Kringle Private Society, there were some challenges we had. There were some people that rose up against us. There were enemies that came up against us. But you see, as long as this thing is a project of God, because as long as I'm concerned, this is not a project done by man. The administration is just a group of people who has been inspired by God to make this realistic, no more, no less. And they are going to continue to push this thing until it becomes possible. That is how I see it. Okay. So this 111,111 must come from different places in the world, and they must consistently work in paying admin fee. Now, some people has asked me, what if at some point I miss paying the admin fee? Does it mean that I wouldn't be able to get coins again? No, you will still get coins. Please remember, the admin talked about team A and he also talked about team B. In the place of team B, when you miss paying the admin fee at some point during this year or any other time, you fail to pay for that month, you automatically fall into team B. Now, that means if you pay the following month, you are not going to get the number of TBCs. Let me assume you pay on June. Maybe by June, you don't pay the admin fee by June, but by July, you decide to pay it. Now, as soon as you've paid it, if you say you want to pay for 2 months, you can't pay for 2 months previously. Neither can you pay for 2 months ahead. Or the admin asks of you is to pay for that particular month, and then the following month you can also pay. Now, let me assume by July you paid 31st, you paid on the 1st of July, and then you think you are going to get 30 TBCs as the case may be. No, you wouldn't get 30 TBCs. What you will get is 1 TBC. Why is that? It is simple. The administration has already made it clear on this particular article when he was talking about Team B. Now, let me quickly read this article. Now, total is 111,111. That's the mass adoption team. The 7th level is the last level of the billionaire zone, made of 1 million members. I expect to fill the mass adoption team before the end of January. Now, then on February 1st, 2020, we begin to fill the level 7 or the 7th level. Those members who will have the opportunity to get one whole TBC each month, one whole TBC coin each month as they pay the admin fee. Now, the admin is telling you, if you choose to pay on July, let me assume it starts by July, you pay on the 1st of July, you get 1 TBC. Now, if you fail to pay on August and then you pay on September, as long as the 1 million billionaires has not yet been filled up yet, you get another 1 TBC. Now, the admin had earlier on those people in the A team or in the B team. This is the new system that chosen to employ in making sure that coins are distributed from the admin wallet into the other people's wallets, which are the community members' wallets. Now, what happens to those people that has been in the TBC community for a long time and they have not been contributing effectively? What happens to them? It is simple. They have chosen not to be in A team or to be in B team. The people that are in the A team, when you come into your Kringle Cashback office under dashboard, you will find out that everybody who are in the mass adoption team, the admin has already put their numbers. You are in the billionaire zone of the mass adoption team. He has given me my number. If I fail to miss or if I fail to make payments the following months, what would happen is that I will be taken out of the numbers and someone else will replace me. Now, this would also apply to Team B. If Team B has not been filled up yet and they miss paying 1 month because they are not the ones that are growing the community as they ought to, what will happen is that they will not be penalized until those 1 million billionaires are filled up in Team B. Listen, I want you to understand what I'm saying very well. Until the 1 million billionaires are filled up in Team B, you can choose to stagger it. You may pay July, miss August, pay September, miss October. Now, it is you that has chosen to get those number of TBCs. However, once those 1 million billionaires are filled up and the 111,111 are also filled up, there wouldn't be room anymore to continue to grow the billionaire phase. The next phase will become the millionaire phase. One thing you should bear in mind is By the time this numbers has been filled up, we have already entered into our economy phase, because a number of activities would have started. Merchants would have already come into the community, because while the 1 million billionaires are being filled, the 111,111 are taking out their responsibilities by going out, creating awareness, doing broadcasts, employing merchants to come into the community, and that is how we are going to continue to grow. So those people who are in the community at the moment and are doing nothing, what will happen is the system called meritocracy will place you. Possibly you are in the mass adoption team. If you refuse to do anything, you will be dropped the 1 million billionaire phase. And those people who are also doing nothing, they are already by default in the 7th level. Now, if there are people who consciously begin to grow the community, even though they are new members, and the community is growing and is growing and is growing, at a point, they will get outstanding records. And then the people who are doing nothing will be displaced to a lower level. And that level is the billionaire phase. All these activities will be happening while we are still in our TBC 009. Now, the moment we have moved out of the TBC 009 into our new blockchain, that is when all your records, all your efforts will now begin to play out. How will I know how much efforts I've made in the Kringle Private Society? How will I know how much investment I've made in the Kringle Private Society? It is very simple. All you need to do is come here and pay attention to all your records. All your records are archived here. Some of them are broadcasts. Some of them are send button meetings. Some of them are pay gifts. Some of them is 2019 referrals. Some of them are purchases that has been done. And all that and all that. All these things are going to give you they are going to be used to qualify you into your position in the new blockchain, because they are all archived. So when the admin is building the new blockchain, he's going to use these things to check you. Those people who are not attending send button meetings, I'm not talking about broadcasters. Those who are not attending send button meetings, of course, you can't attend the send button meeting except your account is active. Prepare yourself for proper placement. Now, those of you who have refused to grow the community, prepare yourself for proper placement. Now, I am not taking joy by saying you should be properly placed. No. Even though you are looking at it, some of us in Africa are saying the amount the admin is charging is too much. Well, I want you to understand that with this amount, I am certain that we can achieve our goal of getting to 1 billion members. I am doubtful. I do not think the admin has any intention of appreciating the admin fee anymore. It is going to be limited to $25. At some point, I had a conversation with him, and he made me understand that it is very likely that we are going to limit our expense on $25 until we get to 1 billion members. So don't be afraid that tomorrow admin will come up and say it is no more $25, it is now $30. It will remain on $25. 12.5 goes to the admin, the other half goes to you. With this, we can grow the community. All right, I've said a little. I didn't say too much, but with the little I've said, I believe you've been able to understand what I mean. Now, the last thing I want to talk about quickly is this. I wouldn't want to read it. No, maybe in a consequent broadcast, I can take my time to read it. But I just want to come in and then show you. Now, everybody is moving around and is saying, access your birthright with your face. Now, admin has taken his time to build this system. Those of us who can take our time to read through, I'm so sure that so many of us has read through. We are preparing ourselves for what we call mass adoption. And we cannot become mass adopted if we do not build a system that will show to the world that we are reliable. Good enough, admin has shown that we can be truthful. But at this point, I am certain that admin is going to put in this facial recognition and is going to limit every individual to have one person, one account. And I also know that very soon, possibly it will be done together. The admin is also going to build expand our new blockchain, our present blockchain, so that it can contain 15 digits. I do not know when these things will go into implementations, but for the administration to have put it out on the blog, that means in a very short while, it shall begin. It could be by February. It could possibly be before the end of this month. I do not know. But those of you who are looking at TBC and do not understand what TBC is, I think it is high time you fasten your seatbelt, because we are about to explode. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this particular one. This blog will be under maintenance for a few days. Now, admin is actually telling us that he would need some maintenance work. And so many of us that I have come across are very funny. Now, why am I saying they are so funny? So many of us are asking that, is it possible that the admin will just go and he wouldn't come down, he won't come back? Is it possible that this system will just suddenly shut down? Now, the question I'll ask, why would someone be reasoning from that perspective? How do you expect our Kringle private society to shut down? The administration did not, he did not run when we were having challenges with TBC 004, when it was difficult to engage in a transaction. The administration did not go away when the Security Exchange Commission came for some of the members within the Kringle Private Society. That was sometime in 2000. He didn't go away. He stood with us. And that was the reason why he built the public notice. And after some time, he also wrote secrets. For those of us who are not informed about secrets and public notice, I do not know how informed we are as a community, but for those of us who are not informed, take your time to study public notice and study it very well. Study public notice, article of association, study secrets. This one talks about we writing to Security Exchange Commission and they refusing to respond. And one thing in the court of law or by law is, if you choose to be silent, it clearly shows you have approved. That is one thing. Those of us who are silent and are not studying these things, it is high time you began to study it. Also study the mission statement of the Kringle Private Society, because these are the things upon which we are anchored. And for you to be able to confidently talk to someone and tell someone that we are lawfully backed globally, you have to have these things at the tip of your fingertip. If you do not have these things, I really don't know how you can grow this community. Now, back to this article. I said the admin did not run when it was during the time of Security Exchange Commission. And the admin did not run when we were doing migration. When we started Bitcoin Bounty, before we even went into Bitcoin Bounty, there was a time admin was charging $10 per month, per year. He didn't run. When he went about the cruise, he paid everybody that was supposed to be paid, and his financial records went very low. And at that point, it was enough reason for him to run away, but he stood his ground and he continued to grow. He believed that this system was going to be successful. Then he introduced the $25. Before it was $25, it was $22. Now it became $25. And at this point, the financial strength of the TBC community is very, very sound. And you think that this maintenance is for him to run away. I don't think you are informed enough if you are thinking from that perspective. It means that you are not a community member at all. In fact, you need to be taken away from the community. I see this system as a system that will grow and become formidable and will be able to rival the existing financial system. Like I always do tell you, the current financial system is parasitic, and it is only going to encourage the rich getting richer. Who are the rich? The rich are the Rothschild, Morgans, Rockefellers. Those people who came together and they built this financial system, and they've also given power to the banks. These are the people that I call the rich. The banks, the governments, the politicians, and they are going to continue to get richer. You want to be successful in the financial system, the debt-based financial system, align yourself to them. But if you want to be successful with the system that embraces humanity at large, then come and grow with us as a Kringle private society. Those of you who may be listening to me for the very first time, I do not know if you are a new member, but if you are a new member, you can check out the links below. I have my referral link. You can become part of us. There are so many broadcasters, excellent broadcasters that are listening to me now. You can listen to them. They all have their channels. You can subscribe to their channels and grow with us. The only way you can grow in this community is by getting yourself informed. Cultivate the habit of listening. Cultivate the habit of reading. With that, I bet you the sky is your starting point. I will stop here. Let me quickly go to my page. And there are so many people that have said a number of things. Let me quickly read it and then call it quit. Okay, I will stay. Thank you. This is Hello Boss. And the other one is okay. Now someone comes in and say hi, and another person says hello. Yeah, Kashim, I greet you. These are my two friends in our community. They happen to also be in my group. I'm also giving this out to a loud call. If you want to join me in growing the community, you can also subscribe. You can also call my attention privately. I can also add you up to my group. Those of you who are still trying to understand what the system is all about, leadership matters. That you cannot lead aright. So many people in the community are only leading for their own selfish gain. I don't think that's how it should be. Now, someone is saying TBC admin can never see my face until I see his face. I don't think it's necessary for us to bring up this challenge now. It's not something we'll start talking about. The admin has already made it clear. He's building a world system for good. So it's not necessary you bringing up your face or not bringing your face. You choose to keep your face hidden, fine. As long as you follow the rules, that's all. Now, it is unrighteousness to request facial recognition while TBC admin is faceless. I see. But you understand very well that majority of the people in the community are having several coins. There are so many people in the community that are having several wallets, and the system is building to eradicate such people. So why are you offended with the fact that the admin is doing the right thing? I don't know. All right. Hello, Brother Augustine and the TBC family in Nigeria. I mean, Stephen Coffey, in fact, you are a mentor. I can tell you that. You are a really wonderful person to be with. Thank you very much for being in my broadcast again. I do appreciate. Looking good in seeing my brother. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate. And I'm looking forward to seeing my leaders of TBC in Nigeria and other countries in Africa. We'll be looking forward to also see you. All right. How will my children and grandchildren do facial identification with their accounts? Now, that's not a question. It's a gray area. It's not a question to bother yourself about. Allow the administration to handle it. Your children and your grandchildren will do facial recognition. There will also be a system called transfer of ownership. We are still building. We have a long way to go. There will be transfer of ownership. You can will your account to some other people. All these things will be done. If you listen or read through the information the admin gave on the blog, he said that everybody's account, both new and old, will be upgraded for facial recognition. Now, that means you can also undo facial recognition. You can also upgrade facial recognition. There are so many ways the admin has to go about it. I do not have the proper specifics. He has it. So don't bother yourself about your children and your grandchildren. That doesn't matter, okay? Now, he is still coming up and saying, we are less than 50,000 real TBC members. Who told you that we are less than 50,000? Now, that's an information. I think your informations do not correspond with reality. It is the administration that has the numbers. I am not in the position to say how many we have. It is the admin that knows. Now, you are saying, why is admin showing us these numbers? I think you should meet the support to ask such questions. Concern everything the administration is doing is targeted for a purpose. And now, we lost 1.8 million accounts in TBC 004 wallets. That number must never be part of this. You are not the architect. I think the architect is in a better position to drive us into where we are supposed to get to. So take it one step at a time. Don't take it personal. You have to allow the system to build you. You either align yourself with the system or you step aside. We are not unreasonable to have understood these things, humbled ourselves, and followed. So you should do the same thing. If you want to stay in the system, do so. And please bear in mind that every bit of information that are being shared are being watched by the administration. The administration is watching you. If you have chosen to become someone that is revolting against the system, you should consider it a second time. It is not necessary revolting. Everybody is seeing how the system is building, and I can say that we are building very well. Even though you don't like what the admin is doing, but it is for the best interest, in the best interest of the community at large. TBC admin should not be collecting admin fee for fake multiple accounts. Administration is not collecting admin fee for fake or multiple accounts. That is the reason why he is introducing facial recognition, so that those who are active in the community and are willing to pay the admin fee will be the ones to put their face there, and the community can grow, showing that they are real and active members. Allow the admin to do his work. Leave your own, do your own part, let the admin do his own part. Okay, my brother Augustine is always on point. Thank you very much, Kashim. I sincerely do appreciate. This is the first time I'm seeing Tindy in my broadcast. I'm quite excited. Special greetings to you, wonderful Tibishan, also to you, brother. All right, Tindy, thank you very much. I do appreciate your response and your updates. I do really appreciate from the depth of my heart. I do see you in our group. And we are working towards making the forthcoming conference a success. So I think I will stop here, because I've been able to look through every piece of information, and I've already said so much already. So for those of us who came on live, I do appreciate. Please do not leave my broadcast without giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you can subscribe. All right, I think I'll stop here. Thank you very much for audience. God bless you. We shall meet again, God willing, Monday. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm always live. Anytime I'm live, you get a notification on your phone, meaning that you should come on and share some time with me. Cheers. God bless you. Till we meet again on Monday. Good night. Bye for now.